Hey guys, Wayne here. In this video, I'm going to share what I've learned from working at 5 different restaurants that all shut down within a year and a half. And before we talk about that, let me just share briefly about my experience as a chef. Every chefs in this world have different types of resume, different types of experience. Most of them they work really hard to get fine dining restaurant experience or, hotel experience that have name values, right? And I'm not gonna deny, I was one of them. I was one of the young cook who was chasing after those kind of experience, just like everybody else. But as you guys know, life doesn't always go with what you expect, right? And in the end, I was able to get a different type of resume, a different type of experience. And I realized it was pretty unique compared to other chefs, which is I've worked at a lot of different restaurants. All of them were at different business levels. So I've worked like 5 of them were shutting down. They were like closing down their business and I was getting, less than minimum pay. My work environment was, terrible. Some of the places I was the only person who was in the kitchen, or like the owner was treating people very weird in all different types of places. And I don't know if you guys have worked in those independent failing restaurants. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And I also have worked at restaurants that have started really small as an independent owner, but because of these certain conditions and certain traits of the owners, the company was able to massively grow bigger to 8 figures franchise. I worked like 3 companies like that. And also I've worked at restaurants that have already a big name value, which was already doing, like 7 figures a month, like per location. So they were like, massive restaurant group that has like multiple restaurant concepts. And to be honest, I don't have those amazing fine dining experience like, Alinea, 11 Madison Park, Nobu, French Laundry, all these fancy fine dining restaurants that every chef's dream of getting their experience, right? I was more likely that I failed to be one of them. I didn't have that good enough skills and personal traits, character traits to be one of them. So I don't have those kind of resume. But after spending 10 years in this industry, I realized that I have this unique experience, which I've experienced every type of restaurants that were in every different business level, which for me, it became an experience where I got to learn more about business itself rather than cooking. The most interesting fact that actually surprised me when I was a young cook, in my world, I thought you cook a better food is equal to a better business. And I think a lot of chefs nowadays still believe that equation, but my experience, it broke that equation because some places, they don't even have extreme high quality of product, but they still become mega successful. And I actually wanted to know why. And that's why I got into all this marketing and branding and this consulting. In this video, I would like to share with you guys from my experience after working at 5 different restaurants that every one of them failed after not even 2 years. And there are 2 main reasons why restaurants fail. One is marketing failure. The second is operation failure. So whatever they do, every failing restaurants, whatever they do, the reason always fall into these 2 reasons: marketing failure or operation failure. First of all, they're putting wrong product at a wrong place, or they're not promoting enough. They have a nice product, they have amazing quality of product, but they're not promoting enough. They're not doing a proper marketing act, or the product might be a wrong product in a wrong place. And in my experience, these happen to a lot of chefs who open their restaurants after they quit cooking, because when they work in a restaurant, all they learn their whole life is about how to perfect their craft, how to perfect their skills. They use $1,000 knife, they use $500 board, $20,000 stove. All the ingredients they use are like supreme quality ingredients: frying pan, saucepan, pot. Believe me, they have amazing skills. They have experience from Michelin 3-star restaurants, and like it's crazy. Whenever I see them cooking, their skills, it's just amazing. But this marketing failure reason happens to those people. It's very interesting because in their whole life, they learn how to perfect their craft, right? They never learn how to actually promote their skills. In their life, they never ever learned how to perfect the skill of promoting, the skill of branding their skill. And that is actually the most important thing when it comes to your personal success or your business success. And I'll talk about that later, but that is also the reason why I actually picked up marketing instead of any other skills first. Because even now, I actually still believe, marketing branding is a skill that you need to pick up as soon as possible, because that is a skill where you can showcase your amazing skills to massive number of people. That is the only skill that will teach you how to promote your skills properly to the market. Marketing failure is one of the biggest reasons why chefs fail outside of their job, when they open their restaurant, their food truck, their restaurant, the food business, online food business, whatever they do, they fail because of the marketing failure. Wrong product at the wrong place, or are unable to promote their business properly. And I strongly suggest and strongly encourage people who want to open their own business, whatever online business or a physical business, I really insist them to learn marketing skills first. It doesn't matter how you learn it. You can get a job in marketing agency, or you can get a job in, advertising companies, or you can be actually a freelancer who can provide your marketing services to your clients. It doesn't actually matter how you do it, but I insist that you need to learn this marketing and branding skills first. And nowadays it's so easy to learn those skills. You can actually go out on YouTube and learn. You can, buy a book and read it, or you can actually attend workshops or seminars and business conferences to improve your knowledge. And there are a lot of ways to learn new skills. Through my 5 restaurants that I worked for, these failing restaurants, this is what I actually realized the most. Marketing was always a problem. It's either they're doing less or they're not doing it properly. That was always a problem. So please, if you guys are planning to open a restaurant, make sure you briefly know about this marketing and branding knowledge, because you guys can watch my videos about explaining what marketing is, but your restaurant location is one of the marketing channel, and it just happens to be there because restaurant is a physical business. And if you can't find a way to get more, to increase your customers, which is a client acquisition skill, which you can learn it by learning marketing, which is always the biggest problem for every type of business in this whole world. There is no single business in this whole world who are not working hard to solve their client acquisition problem. Even me, even any other business in the world. That's their always first problem. And you own a restaurant business and you're not thinking of solving that problem, you have a problem. Customer or client acquisition problem is always the first problem that you want to solve through marketing and branding. And second reason is the operation failure. And operation failure typically happens to those who are lack of restaurant experience. They rather not worked in a kitchen long enough. They have no managing experience. The owners who have very less operation experience, they tend to make a lot of mistakes in terms of operation management. They can't manage a team properly. They can't manage a service properly. They can't manage this financial management properly. Every type of management task, they can't do anything related to management's task. They cannot do properly. They just can't do it because their lack of experience. This doesn't happen to chefs. They have a lot of experience on managing people, managing service, but this always happens to those who have no experience in restaurants. But you can always be successful in restaurant business even though you don't have restaurant experience. And there are a lot of people like that too. There are people who have engineering background. They just suddenly open a restaurant, they become successful. There are people like that. The thing is, take a look at those people and think about what do they have in common. From my research, the things that they have in common is they all have spent years of time crafting their business skills, such as negotiation, management, bookkeeping, marketing, branding, consulting, project management. Those people who have spent years of time crafting their business skills, they can be successful in any type of business actually. It doesn't have to be a restaurant business. They can do any type of business in this world and they can be successful, because business is a business. It doesn't really matter what kind of field you are. In its core, business is a business, and there are certain skills that you need to learn in order to run a business. It doesn't matter if it's a restaurant, doesn't matter if it's a coffee shop, doesn't matter if it's a software company, doesn't matter if it's an agency business, doesn't really matter. This is actually what I wanted to tell you all, that if you're planning to open a business, whatever business that you're thinking of with your chef experience, it can be a restaurant, it can be a cafe, or it can be a restaurant group, it can be an online business, it can be whatever business that you're thinking of. I really strongly insist that you should learn this business skills, this monetary skills first before you ever jump into those kind of businesses. All right, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.